Hi guys, Kia ora. Today I'm going to show you the second way to draw dandelions with acrylic paint. So what I need for today's lesson, it is 5 colors. It is white, intense blue, crimson red, lemon yellow and black. As well as I'm going to use flat brush number 14 for my background, flat brush number 10 for some fluffy part of dandelions, and also round brush number 4 for tiny lines, as well as water and napkin. So let's get started. First, I wanted to share with you how I did the composition of this art piece. So as you can see, I have 3 dandelions which are placed on my canvas in different distance, and also they have different size. It's a good way to represent your composition in any variants when you have several objects. So we have different size of 3 the same dandelions and 3 different distances between them. Also, you can see my background, which is actually a smooth transition from yellow through white and purple to dark blue. It is like a way to represent lightening in my canvas. So the main source of light is somewhere here at the top left corner. So light comes from this part, and the most of the shadow I have here in the right down corner. So we can see like transition. The most highlighted part is on the upper left corner, and most the shaded part is here on the right down corner. So, and now I wanted to show you how to do this. It's not too difficult actually. So I use canvas format A5. For the background, I will use flat brush number 14. I wet it, wipe, and then I grab the blue color, the blue paint. I just don't dip my brush into the paint. I just grab with the edge such way, and I started to do the darkest part of my background from this bottom part, moving my brush very gently with curved strokes. So I'm doing curves and slant strokes over here, covering the bottom part of my canvas. If you feel that it is too dry, your brush is too dry, just grab more paint or wet a little bit the top of your brush and continue with the same movements. Gentle. So it's also good to have good amount of paint on your brush to have effect of texture. I mean, if you spread your paint not equally, you have some traces or some texture with paint. It's also interesting to have such transitions and such effects. So for now, it's enough for blue. I'm going to do next stage. I'm going to crimson red, grab some of them and start mixing this red up straight here on the paper, on the canvas. I waited a little bit to have more smooth transition. So, and as you can see, I get kind of purple on the border where both these colors meet each other, as well as I also have kind of red over here. To have smoother transitions, you can wet a little bit the edge of your brush and spread it equally to have smooth and nice transition. So I go on with my red over here, also moving my brush very gentle. I don't press. I'm doing easy and gentle strokes, moving my brush semicircular over here. So, and now it's time to mix up my white. I grab some and start to mix it with red. So some kind of pink arise and getting more white when I move upper. I don't wash my brush actually, because I still wanted to have interesting transition of my colors over here. Something like that. More white over here. Okay. And now it's time to add yellow. Lemon yellow comes the next. So the most clear yellow is here on the top, but going closer to white, they start to mix up. So I just wanted to have nice transition. That's it. What I see sharp border over here. I can improve it actually, if you have any sharp transition, just wet a little bit your edge of your brush, or put white over here. It's also possible to add extra layer and improve some imperfections, but we don't need poor colors. We need to have transitions still. So just I wash my brush and wipe it, and now with wet brush I just with wet brush go here to spread this paint more nicer. So now my background, so I wanted to dry my background before continue with main part of my dandelions, but still with this wet background I can do kind of outline of my future dandelions. So I wet my brush number 14, put on the side, and take brush number 4. It's a round brush number 4. What I'm going to do, I wet it, wipe, and then I grab a couple of drops of water over here, put a little bit red. I wanted to have not paint actually, but red colored or colored water. It's liquid, it's almost translucent, so but still have some kind of coloring. And with this very liquid paint or colored water, I wanted to have my outline. So what I'm going to do, I start with the stems, and also I just wanted to have the shape of these circle heads of flowers. It will be like this. So the first dandelions will be over here. I do my very tiny line with edge of brush number 4. So I'm doing a stem. The second one will be the right part of my canvas, and it will be higher, or the highest, even the highest, something like that. And the third one will be quite close to this right side, but still smaller than all of them. So, and now I'm going to do a round shape. So what I wanted to have, it's like they look like circles, of different size. So if you can just put this outline with dots, or trace any any subject or any items you have with round shape. So for the biggest one, which is the left one, I'm going to do the first head of dandelion, or head of dandelion, of the first dandelion. I trace in with small dots. It's just general outline. With the same liquid red water, I'm going to do the next one. Next one will be probably the smallest one over here, because this dandelion is, I think, far away from the viewer. That's why it's the smallest and looks very small. So, and the third one probably will be here. Oh, it's too small, so I'm just doing this one. It's my cream. It's my third item with a round bottom, which I can trace. Something like this. Okay. Don't worry if you have any unequal or maybe not so ideal round. Don't worry, we will cover with paint, because we will do several layers representing natural dandelions. So that's it. These are our outlines. I wash my brush number 4, wipe it, and go to black. So to do sharp and very tiny lines, I'm going to use liquid black. So I grab a small amount of black paint on the side, put on the side, add a couple of drops of water over here to have the same liquid paint, or kind of color water, black water actually. It looks like that. So, and I load my brush with this liquid paint and go above my outline. I'm doing the stems with edge, with edge of my brush, very accurate. I'm doing the first one. This is, I just going above my red outline. Just cover with a second layer, this black layer. The same here. Don't press too much on your canvas, just use your edge of your brush. So, and here I also going to represent natural structure of dandelions, because when dandelions, or the seeds of dandelions, are ripe, we can see fluffy, almost translucent head instead of normal petals. So, but inside we still have peduncles, and I wanted to draw them. They are oval, something oval over here with the same liquid black. I'm doing this, and kind of petals here also, and here. With the same liquid black, I'm going to represent some sticks, or kind of base for the fluffy parts. So I load more black water, or more color, liquid black, to my brush number 4, and I'm going to have such light and sharp tiny lines. So I see that my lines are not so sharp. What I'm going to do, I add extra water over here, just another drop of water, because when the paint is thick, it's difficult to do very tiny lines. Much easier is to do with liquid variant, so with liquid black. I touch with edge of my brush. I just touch the canvas and my brush takes off like a plane. Touch and take off. The same here. All these stems or all these sticks for fluffy part of dandelions are of different length, very tiny, ready to fly with the wind, ready to be blown with the wind. Something like this. For now, I don't need black for now, or probably I add some leaves here. I'll do it later. So I wash my brush. And now with the same brush number 4, I wash it and wipe. I'm going to do petals or kind of representing of heads of dandelions. So I grab some yellow and start to do the same, taking off strokes but moving them from the side to the center, like here. I touch with my brush and my brush takes off. I try to cover with this yellow, I try to cover red dots. So my paint is quite thick, so I wanted to add a couple of drops of water over here to have my strokes very sharp and tiny, probably more. Something like here. Again, if you have kind of traces on your canvas, with paint is actually better, because you can see separate petals. Thanks to this texture, all these small details are visible, and the viewer understand that it is petals, and so thanks the texture, we can show also more similarity with natural world. The same with the second dandelion. I just touch and my brush takes off, moving from the side to the center of the head. I don't do too much or too many petals actually, because I'm going to add extra layer over here, so I just wanted to show the general shape of dandelion's head. They also can be of different lengths, it's also fine. So try not to color in, try to do separate strokes. The result will be better, and effect of fluffy head will be also more visible and more understandable. So that's it with our base. The next step will be playing with some ways to represent these fluffy parts. So what I'm going to do, I wash my brush, and as my dandelions are highlighted not equally, I'm going to show this. So the main source of light comes from upper left side. That's why this upper left side of all my dandelions will be more lighter and brighter. I'm going to use white paint to show this. So I wash my brush, wipe it, and grab white color on my brush, and from upper part of the dandelions I go with white. The same, separate strokes. Sometimes they covering with cover the yellow strokes, sometimes not, but still we just highlighting this upper part, representing the direction of main source of light. Probably this smallest dandelion is the darkest one, so I don't go along all of this head, just only on the top from top left side. The same with this. Again, I don't color in, I just add some strokes, like a layers. I also wanted to have some extra paint on my canvas, so I just grab good amount of paint to have traces, to have such texture. So done. Now on this stage I can also represent some kind of darkness or where shade is. I go to blue with the same brush number 4, I washed it up and white. I go to blue, grab a little bit over here and go with this blue from the darkest part, from right bottom part of the head, like here. Very tiny lines. The same when you have texture, is also more interesting than to have just flat or equal surface. As you can see, this biggest dandelion is probably the most highlighted, so I don't want to do more or extra blue over here, just several strokes. But here it is more in darkness, so I have more blue strokes. The same over here, from this part, from right down part of the head of dandelions. Just several separate strokes. I don't color in. Okay, so, and our heads of dandelions, as you can see, become are getting volume, some volume, but it is not all of I wanted to do. I just wash my brush again, brush number 4, and now I'm going to show the play of the light between these fluffy parts. As you know, white color is combination of 7 colors which we have in rainbow. So the same I wanted also to show that these white fluffy parts or pieces, being very well highlighted, sometimes look not just white, sometimes they look somewhere orange or red or green or something, so like rainbows colors. I wanted to mix a little bit red with yellow, lemon yellow over here to have kind of orange. I don't need too much, just to go with this sparkling or with this playing of lights. So with edge of my brush number 4, I'm going to do very, very small kind of stars, not stars, I don't know how to explain this, like kind of small dots, or so I go with these tiny sparkling details all around my dandelion. They must be very, very small, very, very tiny, because it is not the main part of dandelion, it's just representing of light. So I add a little bit more water over here to have liquid orange, and with this liquid orange it's better to do small tiny details. I don't go with these details all around the head. The darkest part is still without these red dots, without sparkling and glancing red. So, but cool. And more I also wanted to have on this surface, because it is not flat surface, it is sphere, and this effect can be on the whole spheric surface, like here. So I just wanted to represent this spheric form also using these dots. I hope your strokes on dandelions heads are quite dry. So if they are too wet, just wait a little bit and do this after, because we don't want to have mess or something very colorful. We just wanted to have illusion of light which plays between all these petals of these fluffy pieces. Cool. And a little bit over here also inside, not just on the edge of these strokes, also on the main body, some of them. I mean, some of these red sparkling dots also good to have, but not too much, just a little bit from the side where the light comes. Cool. I wash my brush, then I go with this wet brush number 4, I go to blue, grab a little bit and do the same, but from the darkest part, which is in the shade. Oh, this is drier, so, and it's easier to do these small details for now. Somewhere or sometimes we see that this blue mixing up together with yellow and getting a little bit greenish. It's also fine because it is nature. You can have different combinations, and you as artists also can have your personal view I mean, how do you see it? How do you want, and how can you represent your perception of nature world? So it's also fine. Again, if you cannot do very sharp and tiny dots on the body of these dandelions, just wait a little bit until it's getting dry, and after drying you can repeat this and it will be much better, I think. So, and now I'm gonna finish with my fluffy parts. Actually, I'm gonna use flat brush number 10. I wanted to have it very fluffy, and dry. I don't wet it. I just making it more fluffy or fluffier. So, and with this top of my brush, I just touch a little bit of white color. And with this white color, I'm starting painting on the top of my dandelions over here, covering all my strokes which I made before. So I'm doing like a contour, like a silhouette. But these sharp touches, I'm just painting with very sharp touches. I don't don't do strokes. I just slap with my brush such way. They can be separately, very brief, very sharp. So, and also it's good to have good amount of paint on your brush, something like here. This way, or thanks this painting, I highlight the general shape, spheric shape of my dandelions. Also, I highlight the lightest part only on the top, so I don't do such equal covering along all the shape, all the head, but the same. I put a little bit over here, but the most painting comes on the upper part. I do the same painting all around the head of dandelion, because if I don't do this, the central part will be looking as a hole, but we know it is not a hole, it should be a sphere. So that's why I cover with some separate brief slaps. I cover the head of my dandelions. So the same. During this painting you can turn your brush and fingers. It also can get or can give you interesting effect of different pieces, fluffy pieces, which are not equal, so light, so full of air, ready to fly and bring the seeds everywhere. So such way. Again, to have separate sharp slaps or traces of your brush, we don't. So we use good amount of paint on the edge of your brush to get it visible and separate. So I think main part of this work is done. For now, I see that my smallest dandelion looks very nice. It's almost translucent, but we can feel that upper right part of the head is the most highlighted part. So the down right part is in the darkness. It's good, but these two dandelions look a little bit flat. So I wanted to add more white just to highlight where source of light comes. With the same fluffy almost dry, but with white paint brush, I go to do some extra layer, extra painting on the upper part, only upper part. Even I have kind of traces or extra paint, which gives me a texture or effect of volume, also effect of these nice petals. The same here. Look, I highlighted the lightest part of the head. I don't have regular strokes here or regular lines. I just try to highlight this curve, semicircular part, to show this spheric form. The same here. I don't do such way like diameter. No, I just go like in semicircular direction, like here. That's it. And dandelions are ready, I think. Probably. So if you feel that your dandelions look too white, so too much white, like ordinary flowers, not just fluffy dandelions, wait a little bit until it's getting dry, and then come back with the same painting on the highlighted part with good amount of paint. I mean, to have these traces, this paint, these sharp strokes of painting on the highlighted parts. So I don't wash my brush number 10, I just put it on the side, and now I wanna do some kind of, or probably, you know, I wanted to add some interesting details. So with the same white or with the same brush number 10, I don't wash it, I just touch a little bit over here with yellow, lemon yellow. You can see that it is only on the top of my brush. I also can add some rare painting over here in the part where we can shade, to show that it is shade actually. They are rare, they are not everywhere, just some. From this right darker part. Much better. It can be also better if you grab the same way small amount of blue also, and add from this right part a little bit, just with edge of my brush. It is not strokes, this is no even painting, not normal painting, just some dots. You can see only dots, but it is what I wanted to have, just effect of this light fluffy parts of the flower. Only on the top of my brush I have this blue, not too much, I don't color in, I just have some separate blue dots in all this mixture. So the heads of dandelions are done. Now I'm going to do some leaf. It's up to you, you can do this, you can add them or not, up to you. I'm going to do this. So since my this leaf is in the darkness, I'm going to show it with black. I grab my, so I wash my brush number 4 grab some black, put a little bit water over here, 1 drop, to have just to have a more liquid structure of my brush. Sorry, of my paint, of my black. So, and I'm going to draw this leaf in any way. It will be something like here. So the leaf of dandelions looks like kind of anchors connecting. More water to my black. I try to repeat with my brush, with movement of the brush, the shape of the leaf. More water to my black because it is too dry or too thick. I can't do sharper, thinner lines, something like here. The second one can be somewhere here. I don't overlap my dandelions, actually, only stems, not the flowers it's themselves, just only some stems. I still try to represent sharp edges of the leaves over here. Something fuzzier at the bottom. So, and now I wanted to give more life to my black leaf. How I'm going to do, I wash my brush, and with brush number 4 I wipe it and I go to yellow, grab small amount on the edge of my brush number 4 and do kind of highlight or kind of highlights on the stems over here with very tiny lines, because light comes not only on the heads of dandelions, also on the stems. Something like here. These lines are not so straight, it can be a little bit fuzzy, but still covering with this yellow, your black is getting natural. The same I wanted to do with leaf. I put kind of highlights over here. So a source of light is here. Light comes on this part and on this part of the leaf. Not all the leaves are covered with this yellow, actually only. So left one is covered with yellow from right side. And opposite, or vice versa, right leaf is covered by the yellow from left side, because lights come from this part, from this side. I think upper part of the leaf is more highlighted, and the closer to the bottom of the page we are going, the less light comes. So, done. Cool. Now I go to my brush number 10, and I wanted to do some interesting effect, sparkling. So to do such effect, or to reach such effect, I am going to do splatter. I add some white to my yellow, which I have already here. Not too much, but some. And water. And I'm doing this mixture, liquid mixture. I need to have liquid semitone, not just paint, but rather colored water. Not enough, more water over here. So I wanted to have such kind of, it's not paint, it's just water, but with colored water. So I grab this colored water with my brush, and so just be careful not to sprinkle with this the whole area all around your workspace, but I'm going to do such movement with my finger. I just do some sprinkles here. All these dots are of different size, bigger, smaller. And I cover, up to you, how many dots do you want to have, it's your decision, but still it's very interesting to have such sparkling effect of on your dandelions. Probably I put more on this one. The same I wanted to do with yellow part, but I just grab only white paint. I don't wash my brush actually. I just put more water to white. It will be almost white. And with this white, I also can add some subtones over here on yellow on the top of my drawing over here. And the same here. That's enough. Or more than enough. Okay. So our dandelions are ready. I hope you're also happy with your results. If you have any questions, please email me. And see you next time. Bye bye.